Hey everyone, I'd like to start things off with a quick show of hands. Who here went to college or is currently going to college? Almost everyone, great. Who here lived with a roommate for a time? Fantastic. Now, who had a less than stellar experience finding that roommate or living with them? Great, well, not great, but like, so if this is a process that so many people go through, all over the world, every year. And why hasn't the process changed in the last 20 years? My name is Murur Samad. I'd like to introduce you to Stumble. So Stumble is a digital platform designed to connect college students to potential roommates through the ease and convenience of their phone. Even though this problem has existed for a long time, no one has addressed this market. And students time and time again turn to platforms like Facebook and Craigslist because the alternative is just getting randomly paired by the school. It sucks. Alright, so a little about myself. I am a senior at Shaker High School right now. I started working at Stumble, at Syracuse University this past summer. I was taking entrepreneurship and economic classes over there. And so while working with a group during one of my entrepreneurship classes, I realized that there was a big problem that a lot of people had either experienced or knew people that experienced it, which was that they had trouble finding roommates, or like their siblings or somebody had trouble finding roommates. So I just recognized that there was a lot of potential in this market and it wasn't being addressed, so I thought it should be. So I talked about these problems a little bit. Let me dive into them a little more. So one major problem for students is that they are wasting a lot of time on platforms like Facebook and Craigslist to find roommates. These platforms are inefficient because they were not intended for that purpose. Often a student would put out an ad on Facebook basically saying, hey, my name is such and such, I go to such and such school, I'm looking for a roommate, and if anybody else is in the same boat, please contact me. And so if they're lucky enough to get a reply within a reasonable amount of time, then there's not even a reason to believe that they'd be compatible with that person after spending so long looking for them. And time again, they come back to these platforms because there's no other alternative, other than being paired randomly by your school, which, as I'll get into now, that's also a problem for universities and colleges because students will enter questionnaires usually, and then there's somebody in that board of admissions going through by hand of pairing those roommates by themselves. And that person doesn't have a PhD in matchmaking either, but that's very time consuming. And that same employee in that office of admissions or office of housing would spend their very valuable and limited time somewhere else. Based on our research, over $9,000 is wasted every year by schools, just wasting their time on this. Now, lastly, this is a problem for landlords and property owners as well, because they're having an immense amount of trouble filling their rooms to capacity. A study I did around Syracuse University this past summer with their major housing companies said that almost 1 in every 5 rooms was left empty throughout the year, which is an insane amount of lost revenue, which could be over $10,000 every year per vacant room, which is just insane. So I've dumped a lot of problems on you, been pretty negative. So how do you fix it? Stumble, as I said, was a web and application-based platform designed to allow students to take the experience of finding a roommate into their own hands. They no longer are dependent on inefficient platforms, social media, and no longer have to face the daunting fear of living with someone that they've never met before, never spoken to before, never even seen their face. Stumble appeals aesthetically to students because it allows them to find a roommate from the same way that they do everything else, which is their phone. They colleges and universities no longer have to spend time themselves pairing these roommates, saves them money, and property owners no longer have to deal with missed revenue of vacant rooms. And in addition, it's a marketing tool for them as well because they can market their properties once students have found roommates. All right, so how's it work? You would sign up, enter basic information about yourself, like gender and what school you're going to. But then after that, we'll ask you more detailed questions like what time do you usually go to sleep, or how important cleanliness is to you. And from that, we can show you profiles of other people that we think will have similar interests. So over here we have Jason Walters. He likes playing instruments. He keeps his room clean, which is good. He goes to bed pretty early, around 9 o'clock. But we don't like him, so we're gonna swipe left. And over here is Emily Johnson. She likes hiking, reading books. She keeps her room reasonably clean. Not as clean as Jason, but she does well. And she goes to bed a little bit later, at 11:30. So say you want to match with Emily. You swipe right on her, she swipes right back, and then you guys are matched. And you can then proceed to talk, and if it goes well, you can send them a match request, at which point, if they accept, then your school will be notified that you do intend to match them. At that point, you can also search for properties together that match both of your criteria, their price range, location, everything. So the reason I feel like there's a need for this in the market is because, as I've said, there's no alternative for students. And from a study I put out, 71% of students were less than happy or less than satisfied finding how they found the roommate and living with them, which is an astounding amount. And also, as you can see here in red, that's the amount of rooms that are left empty, property owners, like during the school year, which is a lot. So, being in New York State, Stumble's in prime location to take advantage of this market because there's over 1.1 million students across over 200 universities just in New York State alone. So, the potential to address this market in a dense, concentrated location is fantastic. And 53% of the students live off-campus, by the way, which is insane. So I talked a little bit about Facebook and Craigslist already, but other competitors are Roomster and like Roomie Match and things like that. But they don't gear themselves toward college students directly, which is a disadvantage that they have. And then, as you can see, Stumble checks off all the boxes. So we plan to do business-to-business sales with colleges and universities along with property owners to address a dense amount of students in like each area as opposed to targeting them all nationally, which is what the mistake that like Roomster and Roomie Match made. We also believe that allowing landlords to list their properties is a great potential source of revenue, and allowing advertising on our website with any mobile app and website, and then eventually like selling data as well because we'd be collecting data that never been collected before. So as you can see, what we're looking for here is connections into the Office of Admissions and Housing at schools, software development experience, and experience selling into institutions of higher education. And I just have one last question. Who would like to stumble into a great business venture? Thank you.
How much does the service cost?
The service is free to use for students, but we would take a small percentage fee on colleges and universities along with housing companies. Yeah, so no cost to students.
So this is both an on-campus and off-campus solution?
Yeah, the idea is that the students will begin using it on campus as like the way to find their roommate, like for their dorms and such, and then continue using it during the time on campus.
Is this intended only for college students?
Right now, it's intended only for college students, but you can see expanding into like boarding schools and things like that, where their students find rooms.
You mentioned a piece of the revenue. How does your product help close that gap for those landlords?
Yeah, because they can also search for the properties right on Stumble as well. So all those additional rooms that will otherwise be left empty, like whether because like if there's one student who might be hesitant to share a room with 4 or 5 people he's never met before, like a house, they can use Stumble to fill that gap that would otherwise be left empty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.